Rolling.
Hey, it's the Catch the Sky podcast. We're back. T, we're talking music today.
You're back.
I'm so excited.
I just can't hide it.
I'm so scared. No, that's...
I'm about to lose control and I think I like it.
We're going to talk about why we're drawn to music and in which way. Like, there's complexity. There's music people and then there's like music people. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And we'll talk about some of our favorite artists, our venues, maybe some concerts we haven't been seeing. We're going to have some fun. T and I are... There's a yin and yang when it comes to music with T and I, because on our road trip last summer, he tortured my ears for hours on end through the beautiful backwoods of southern Utah, all the while trying to find a signal so he could contact a woman.
Yes, I remember that. The aimless wandering. Remember we were down by that creek? And I was like, all right, we have one bar here. This is a great spot. And then as soon as we turned, it was like, no service.
That was a nice spot because it was by like a creek and it rained a little bit, like it sprinkled that morning.
That was such a peaceful spot.
And I slept in that morning. I remember I slept in.
Oh, yeah. And then it was the next morning that we slept by the cows, right?
Yes.
That was fun.
That was in Flagstaff near Ashurst Lake.
That was great. Those fucking cows.
Those cows are something.
Yeah, Frank was fired up.
I think there's something to meeting a woman or someone special who shares your same music interests. It almost feels like there should be a dating app for that. Is there? That's a good idea. We should start a dating app about people who are into music. What do you think? It's a $1 million idea.
This is like my dog date idea, which probably already exists. You bastard, you patronizing me. Oh, my God. Oh, for the listeners out there, I thought I had this $1 million idea that was basically Tinder for dogs, but to hook up their owners, and there's about 18 billion versions of it.
So we're learning. There's probably a music one, too. Dang. We got to come up with a dating app idea that hasn't been discovered. Dating apps for... Well, let's talk music first.
Yes, yes. Before we venture off, before we venture too far off.
And we're recording this on May 12th, and we're anxiously awaiting the NFL schedule. And Manchester City are league champions, by the way. That also happened yesterday.
Just to give you a date and time for where we are when this conversation is happening.
For the archives.
Yeah. Oh, it's for the archives. Absolutely. For the historical archives. If you care to interact with us, you may do so on Facebook or Instagram by searching for the Catch the Sky podcast, or find us on Twitter at CTS Terry or at CTS Saif.
There's a good chance I won't respond. So just an FYI to the listeners out there if you do engage with us.
Oh, my God.
T, why are you drawn to music?
Well, for me, I feel music in different ways. Like, I play several instruments. Obviously, I haven't practiced any of them in a while, but I'm capable. And so I like the process of creating and feeling music in that way. So that was one of the things that I enjoyed on our trip, was when we were listening to different songs, you would ask me, like, what do you hear? And I was often hearing things that were different than what was jumping out to you first. I do recall that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm a big hip-hop head, and I know hip-hop music isn't associated, unless you're talking about the world-famous Roots band, Roots Crew, because they play live instruments, but a majority of hip hop and a lot of newer music almost doesn't even incorporate instruments.
No, they get these little keyboards like I'm gonna get. I told you I'm gonna be a European DJ.
What would your name be?
Sweet Tea.
Yeah. You stick with it's
a
DJ
built-in.
Catch the Sky.
No, dude.
I like that. I'm DJ Catch the Sky.
You can be DJ Catch the Sky. I'm just Sweet Tea. That's
Hold on,
it.
Figure that if that one's taken.
It's just a persona.
You get a patent on this right away. DJ. Yeah, because when it comes to the party, like I want to be in charge of the music in the car and at the house parties too. Like my friends know, let me run the Bluetooth speaker. I got my one friend's kid, Skylar. He's always trying to take over with his boombox and his tonka bullshit that he likes to listen to. But I'm trying to bring him back to the 90s and bring in some De La Soul, little Digital Underground, bring in some funk, George Clinton, and, introducing some people to alternative hip hop like Ugly Duckling.
And so what draws you to that type of music?
I like to move.
I
like to move my ass.
Well, I tried to meet you halfway with some of the Linkin Park stuff, and you weren't a fan of that either.
Apparently that guy's from they tried to cross us over and they added Jay-Z to the lineup, and I didn't. There's classic rock, I've been to multiple Lynyrd Skynyrd shows, there's good rock, right?
Oh yeah.
And then I think some of the newer rock doesn't always appeal.
I don't like some of this stuff that just seems like overly heavy for no reason.
I think I'm not into heavy metal,
mm-hmm.
but there are heavy metal songs I will listen to.
Yeah.
Disturbed comes to mind. Nine Inch Nails, would we classify Nine Inch Nails as heavy metal?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if these things would necessarily be classified as heavy metal. I think they're just hard rock at this point.
So many distinctions with music.
Dude, it gets out of control. Like, it's so nitpicky. Like, I can't keep up with any of this shit. Like, this post-hardcore, like, what? I don't understand what any of this means. Post what? Like, this isn't BC and AD. Like, and what the fuck is this?
Post Malone.
I can't keep up with it. But
I don't get Post Malone either. Just an FYI, I'll listen to it and I'll nod my head, but I'm very confused. I don't quite understand.
I don't know if he entirely knows what he's doing, but he's having a good time, it looks like, so fuck it. That's
like
what
a white man who looks like Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Right?
I don't know what's going on.
That's what. See, it's the creation though, and being able to do all sorts of different things through music, and getting people to either dance or be sad or be happy or get amped or whatever. You can create all these different feelings, and to me, that's beautiful. Is being able to make somebody feel that certain way through sounds that you're just generating with your body.
Right. A buddy of mine lent me a CD back in the day. It was a Pulp Fiction from the movie Pulp Fiction by Quentin Tarantino, and it was like a soundtrack, but Quentin Tarantino was talking before and after the songs, and he explained why he was using them in these specific scenes, specifically Steeler's Wheel, Stuck in the Middle with You. And he references it in Reservoir Dogs where he cuts the ear off and he's like, can you hear that? Can you hear that? Mm-hmm. But it to me, you're right. Like, music sets a vibe. Like, as you're watching cinema or something dramatic, like you hear that dramatic music, there's an energy that music can create, negative or positive, right? And of course, I love the more positive, but sometimes you want to hear some angry rock and you want to hear some Limp Bizkit. It's just one of those days when you wake up, everything is fucked, everybody sucks, something like that. You know what I mean? And like, it sets that mood.
Mm-hmm. Papa Roach.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.
Right.
I don't know what these words mean, right? Because I never explored these artists in context, but I know I love the beat that it comes on. So even though I'm a hip hop guy, if I hear a good rock beat that just again, often rock associated with blues, and we can get into the origins, but it might get political. Don't make me bring Merle Haggard up.
Smokey Robinson.
Smokey. Tears from a Clown, T. Tears from a Clown.
Oh my God.
There's so many.
Right? There's just so many. But I think that's why a lot of people are drawn to it, is it puts them in a mood. And that's definitely, I use it usually to like reinforce a mood that I'm already in. So if I'm feeling a certain way, like if I'm angry, I'm going to go ahead and put on angry music, and it usually makes me angrier. But then for me, that's my way of dealing with like emotions and stuff like that. Not always with music, but like I like to feel the emotion completely, and then it's gone. And that way it doesn't linger. Just get it out, move on. It's like the puke episode. Puke and rally.
It's the content that people want right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's give the people what they want. Give the people what they want.
So who are your favorites, T?
Well, I obviously have the Blink-182 tattoo on my back, so they're number one. I've seen them a couple times. Rise Against, I'd probably have to say, is in my top 3, as well as A Day to Remember.
Okay.
Maybe Newfound Glory. Sum 41. Stop me. I'm on a roll.
Where were you when you discovered this music? How did you was it a cassette tape? Was it
my
KD,
friend
KP,
Josh.
Erie Rocks?
No, my friend Josh was the first one to get me into any type of punk rock. He played Does This Look Infected, the album by Sum 41. Mm-hmm. And then I was hooked. And then from there, I got into Green Day,
Like crack.
Blink-182. Yeah, that expanded to Newfound Glory, and then it was off to the races from there. But Blink-182 definitely has a special place in my heart. I think I've emphasized that a little bit on this show.
Imagine grown adults just, hey, getting into my car. Let's just listen to music. Maybe have a drink, smoke. It can get weird, listening to music next to someone.
And then, I throw on the shit that I'm listening to. And, I know you certainly were like, what the fuck? What is this?
What is this? I went with it. It's your car, right? Those are the rules. Those are unbinding.
Listen, this is the guy that's exposing us to aliens. Safe. Throw some respect on it.
I would say for the listeners out there, T had a knack. He would bring up something Blink-182 within the first 2 minutes of conversation with any person he just meets. Somehow he'd work it into the first 2 minutes of conversation.
Well, that's because they're so relevant. They're so relevant. You want to talk pop
soccer
culture?
teams?
Travis Barker's dating Kourtney Kardashian. He produced MGK's album last year. The Aliens. Tom's exposing them.
We had Team ET from our friend Michael Alexander from Emby Alexander.
Wait, he's on Team ET?
Yeah, he told me, sent me a text.
Yes, yes, Team ET. I'm on Team ET too.
He made a very, very viable argument that Elliot was the drunk and ET felt emotions through Elliot. But I recall it differently. I recall ET being the drunk. So I think he might have it backwards, or I misunderstood his comment.
E.T. and his mischievous nature, it's just like hijinks, like innocent hijinks. Alf definitely has better comedic timing. You're right in that aspect. But E.T. was basically just so dumb and innocent and trying to bumble his way around the world that you couldn't help but laugh at him.
I love E.T., but I just think Alf's better. It's like I love Laurel and Hardy, but the Three Stooges are better. Okay?
Yes.
Charlie Chaplin? No, Three Stooges are still better.
Oh, yeah.
And the music from, those early days, I think there's a romanticism to it. And so big fan of a lot of the old stuff. I hate to be that guy, but I don't really like the new stuff. And I don't know what to say with that. So my favorites, I'm a big fan. I've already referenced Ugly Duckling. I don't think they're making albums anymore, music anymore. And Jay-Z is probably one of my favorite hip-hop artists. And finally, though, I do want to go back to Emby Alexander. Like, they're relevant. And as far as, like, what draws people to music, the reason I was drawn to this music is because these were some young kids just trying to make a dream happen. And I was trying to be the cool guy and say I listened to local music. And they were the only band I could mention here in Arizona. So I ended up at a couple of their shows, and it turns out it was really good stuff. And they're still out there making hits, making records. Everything's different. They're always pushing the boundaries. Some of these music videos they're putting out are just cinematic in nature. So you're absorbed as you're watching it. You're like, what is going on here? And music is a reflection of that. It's artistic creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't help but appreciate music as just how it makes me feel. And for whatever reason, yeah.
How are you a Jay-Z fan and then you don't have any respect for Linkin Park?
Well, so I didn't buy the crossover. So I also understand there's the politicization of music, and record industries are purposely trying to manipulate, and they get to pick winners and losers, right? And so we were screaming "fuck Clear Channel" from the mid 2000s on, and it's this, to me, it's part of the corporate takeover of music, and they ultimately manufacture boy bands, if you will, and boy bands come in many different shapes or sizes, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, Linkin Park is just marketing companies going out saying, I think this will sell, and we're going to cross it over to this segment.
But it gave us one of the best lines in music ever. Cocksucker, take one for your team.
That was Chester.
No, that was Jay-Z. That was Jay-Z.
Oh, gotcha.
Says cocksucker, take one for your team. I love it. And then my other favorite line from music in general is from the song The Next Episode. And I bet you can guess which line that is.
Well, I can now.
That's fucking hilarious. That is fucking hilarious, bro. That is so good. Oh my god. So how many of these artists have you actually fucking seen in person?
There was this Facebook pandering. They were getting people to just list off the number of venues they'd been to or all the concerts and list them all. Mm-hmm. So I started to dig into the memory banks, and I believe I've seen over 100. Actually, downtown Glendale is hosting free concerts Thursday through Sunday through the month of May. And there's an outdoor amphitheater, and it's fantastic. The weather's not too hot. We're just out there listening to music. And I saw Barrio Latino this weekend. This is like some Latin funk, which was pretty groovy.
Okay.
And they had a mariachi band to kick things off, bringing it back to the roots of the Southwest because it's related to that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I've seen some great concerts, and we're missing them right now because of COVID. Everything is shut down, and everybody there's a segment of the population that they don't care one way or another about anything else until they can see live music again.
Pretty much, yeah. I might be included in that.
Open the schools or open the concerts. They're just going to be like, nope, the schools are, you stay home, kids.
Yeah, they can do all that virtually. I can't crowd surf virtually, Safe.
Have you crowd surfed before?
Oh, yeah. Several times.
Ooh.
Across thousands of people.
I mosh pitted once.
Yeah?
But
you don't look like you're...
I've never crowd surfed because it looks uncomfortable. It looks like people are groping you.
You don't want that?
I mean, I do like massages, so I guess
so,
as long as people are like pressing firmly,
and then you get as long as nobody drops you, and then you might get up on stage, or at least you get pretty close.
Might be able to work out some of my back issues, actually.
See?
I mean,
Or they'll drop you and you'll be paralyzed.
how'd you fix your back? Well, just went crowd surfing.
Crowd surf at your own risk. Yeah, I had to crowd surf across a couple thousand people when I went to see Blink, Rise Against, 30 Seconds to Mars, and A Day to Remember. There was several other bands. It was like a festival. And I got to go
What's
up on
the festival called?
Epicenter. It was on Fontana, California. I forget what it was at a speedway. Forget what it's called.
Okay.
NASCAR raceway. I forget what it was called. Anyway, yeah, there was like 25,000 people there, and I got to go up on stage because we were in the front row. And went around backstage, got to meet the guys from A Day to Remember. And then after 30 Seconds to Mars was done with the song, everybody had to disperse back into the crowd. But you had to go to the back. And my friend and our bags were in the front. The literal front. So I pushed as far as I could, and then I surfed the rest of the way. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
And that is incredible. How do you keep your wallet in all that? Like, and your cell phone and like.
Oh, that was
things
all in
aren't
the
dropping.
bag. Everything except my phone, and I think I had my phone in my hand.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's a rush, man. We got to get you to a show. We're gonna send you up.
Oh, I'm trying to think of the show I saw with Cuzzy last. We brought the other Cuzzy.
You guys went to a show?
Lee Fields? Yeah, we saw Lee Fields.
Where were we? Were we in Vegas?
You guys, you were coming over, right?
Jesus.
So Lee Fields was at Crescent Ballroom, and my boy Danny, he had extra tickets, so we went for it. And he was like R&B soul singer. And I guess the door was locked to his the stage area when he came on and off. So he was like, all right, good night. And he's like walking and he can't get in. But not many people spotted it because we kind of were like, oh, it was a great show and everything. But Cuzzy spotted it. He's got an eye for that stuff.
He's like, Cuzzy's like, one more song. He's like, fuck. I can't get off stage.
Cuzzy took me to see Ben Harper at the Electric Warehouse in Philadelphia.
Ooh.
That was a unique experience because I had to crap behind a dumpster and there was no bathrooms around. In the East Coast, it's a whole different beast out there. You know, there's
stage
public
AE
restrooms. Like it's hard to get a public restroom.
That's why we stage AE.
And then to be denied, like you go into like a coffee shop or something. Nope, you can't. No public restrooms, right? What do you do?
I found there's a restroom in the mall across from the 9/11 memorial in New York City that you can access publicly.
Oh, nice call.
So yeah, there's a shout out if you're in New York City. They built that fucking atrocious mall.
I think I had to go to a bush at one point outside of New York City there in Manhattan.
My problem with there was trying to find a nice place to smoke. So we looked it up and we were looking for green spaces around us, and we see this little triangular block, few blocks east or west of us or whatever, and we go aside to check it out. Say this thing was like 70 feet long by like 40 feet wide. I was like, and there was like 30 people crammed into it. Like I was like, oh my God, we can't go and roast bones there. That's not.
This is when weed was illegal, right?
That's not a thing, right?
I smell it everywhere now. I feel like I'm at a concert all the time, a Jimmy Buffett or Cypress Hill concert.
And is there anything wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with that?
No. It's just it still feels like I have so much illegal in me from just years of conditioning by society. So I still take it like cautiously. I'm not overt with my. I keep it on the down low, and edibles are the way to go for any situation like that.
I can't wait till I'm out there again. I can't wait. I cannot fucking wait.
For concerts, for events.
You realize that we are literally
Edibles or bust.
1 hour.
From the schedule?
Yes.
Yeah, we open against Tennessee, and we're already talking about going to Nashville. Speaking of music, right? Maybe I'll go to Graceland.
There you go. Well,
hopefully music will be back.
Yes. And once we have the schedule, we'll be able to make our plans, and that's going to shape a lot of things for this podcast for the remainder of the year. You're going to be live in studio
give
here.
Give it more character.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be live in studio there at some point.
I gotta get one of those boxes where people can stick microphones into it. It makes more sense.
It's called a USB interface.
Yeah. I gotta get on Amazon and get one of those. Or if any of our listeners out there have any recording equipment that they don't need or use, go ahead and send it. I'll trade you a VCR.
There you go. The price of VCRs is only going up. While USB interfaces. I'd imagine the price of those is going down. Everybody's doing podcasts these days. Not everybody has a VCR.
Vintage.
So if you're interested, be sure to contact us at CTS Terry or CTS Saif on Twitter, or search for the Catch the Sky podcast on Instagram or Facebook. Before we wrap up, what are your favorite concerts? I know you told me you've been to a lot. And I
kind of think about the ones that I missed. I mean, I've Form at Arco Santi, that festival. We camp out there. There was something about camping and then just walking up a hill and just going to different shows and just exploring new music. It's the first time I heard Pussy Riot live. I got to see Anderson .Paak, Florence and the Machine, just a number of artists in an intimate venue. Niall Fiore Yanya. So that to me, it was something, that I really enjoyed. McDowell Mountain Music Festival, another one of my favorites. But out here in Arizona, honestly, at this point, Crescent Ballroom or Valley Bar, I think, or Marquee Theater, as far as like venues that are memorable for a number of reasons. But I got to go to the Red Rocks as well in Colorado.
Oh,
so
a lot of people's bucket list, right?
There is, and I think OAR is who I saw. I didn't know what their music was, and I didn't care. I remember people were throwing playing cards, and I got a 10 of clubs as a result, as a souvenir. And it's something special, that I shared with my cousin in Denver, who I had never met up until that point. But she's a music head, like beyond. Like to me, she'll travel for months, weeks, for her band. Like that's how we ended up seeing Lynyrd Skynyrd. When I saw it all with my family, which was a unique experience.
What's crazy to me is like where are they getting all the money to do all this? They're selling themselves along the way. I don't want to use the term because we're going to be talking about it in a few weeks, but all right, we got vagabonds. They're vagabonds. Is that what they're doing?
Is that what they call them? I didn't.
I don't know what they're. Well, they're roadies or groupies, whatever.
Roadies is
they're groupies.
Roadies and groupies. Yeah.
Well, no, they whatever. How did they sustain themselves? It's just a very suspect way of living. I'm down with it. I just want to know more. I like learning more about the fringe elements of society and how they get by. Like those people we saw on our way to Monument Valley. Like, what kind of music are they listening to? How do they get by? How do they get by? These are things
they
I
get
think
by
about.
with a little help from their friends.
I guess so. That's what yeah. And so do these roadies and these groupies. It's a wonderful experience. And it's all based around music. Brings people together. There's hateful music out there too. But even still, that brings people together in a weird, twisted way.
Yeah.
So anything else music related? You play any instruments? Have I ever asked you that?
I'm a rapper, T. I've always rapped. I've always done open mic, poetry. pros.
Oh, bro, what did that one dude say at the Chiba Hut when they had the open mic night? Oh my God, he dropped that one line and I was done. I was done after that. I was dying. Oh, fuck. I can't believe I'm forgetting it right now. I'm so disappointed in myself.
If it comes back to you, you could just reinsert it right here.
I could. Reinsert
33
here.
minutes.
Oh, man. Well, this was a fun one. I enjoyed doing this episode.
I feel
was a
like
good
we could
time.
talk about all these topics forever.
Well, in the interest of letting our listeners process this in a reasonable amount of time and not get sick of us, we should probably end it here. So,
Listeners, let us know your thoughts on music. Who your favorites, your favorite venues. Tell a story.
yeah. Or if you're creating music and want to come on and share some of it with us, feel free. We'd love to help promote you.
Yeah, we'll have Michael on soon.
I'm looking forward to it. And until our next episode, thank you for tuning in. It's good to have Saif back, and keep trying to catch the sky.